So today we're going against the 0% AI around Silverstone by only using one set of wet tyres. Now I have customised the weather for this race and it's not going to completely stay wet. About 3/4 into the race it will start to dry up, and by then we will be on wet tyres on a dry track and we're not going to pit a single time, and hopefully we can try win against the 0% AI. Right, so here we come to the 5 red lights for the start of the Grand Prix. Firstly, starting with the wet weather for this race. It will soon later go into a dry spell for the end of the Grand Prix. But for the start of this Grand Prix, it's going to be about somewhat conserving the tyre life, trying not to push the tyres all that much, whilst also keeping up a little bit of pace. Now my biggest worry for this race is the rear tyres. When I tested it yesterday, the rears did get worn quite a lot, so I think it's best to use a higher gear. The fronts didn't really wear that much, it was actually alright, but the rears were a real problem. Right, so here we are on lap 8, about to lap the field for the first time. The tyres are currently in these conditions. You can see the rears are starting to suffer a little bit more than the fronts. But trust me, once you get a puncture on the rear with wet tyres, you cannot control this car. It literally takes about 5 minutes to do a lap, which you will see later on in the video. So here we are now approaching the AI for the second time in this race. The rears are about 20% at the moment, only 15 laps into the race, which looking at it isn't too bad. And soon, about halfway into the race, so about the next 10 laps, we should also start to see the weather ease up a little bit as it eventually becomes a little bit drier in this race. So now we're approaching the leaders for the third time in this race. Seems like George Russell and Lando Norris have a bit of a gap to the rest of the field, which isn't good for us. But as long as we can keep up the pace, it won't matter too much. The tyres are not looking too bad, seeing that we're just short of the halfway distance. We're just under 40% on the rears, so it's looking good. But once we go onto the dry track, it's going to be absolutely finished for us. I can guarantee that.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain.
So it looks like at this point in the race, the engineer has just said that it is light rain at the moment. You can see the track has changed a lot. There's a lot less rain at the moment. So we're now approaching 4 laps up on the AI, but as you can see, they are now starting to pit for the intermediate tyres. So our pace deficit will be at a bit of a loss at the moment, and will be until the end of the Grand Prix at this point. We'll just start to slowly lose time each lap, but we've also got to be a bit wary. We've got to take these tyres till the very end. They're about 55% on the left rear, which isn't too bad. To say we've only got 22 laps left, but once it gets to dry, that tyre wear is going to go in a matter of a few laps. Now here we are on lap 37, and as you can see, the rain has started to stop now. I don't think the track is completely dry yet. It's still wet in some patches, and I think that left rear is going to go pop in the next sort of 4 to 5 laps. We've got to be a bit careful of it at the moment, try and nurse it home as best we can, but it's only going to be inevitable when it does pop. DRS has just been enabled, so that means the track is dry. It's dry enough for DRS at this point. The AI haven't pit as of yet for inters, so I'm not quite sure when they will do that. No, you can see a few of the AI have now started to pit. My teammate is in the pit lane, so they are starting to put on the dry tyres. So we are on lap 40 now. The rear is on 90% at this point. Looks like the fronts might not even puncture, and they probably won't once the rear punctures, because basically you'll see the fronts don't touch the ground, as we saw from the last video when we did this. Either on the front or the rear, you can only get 1 puncture. You can't get 2, unless they've done an update for it, but I don't think there is. I'm hoping I can take these tyres to maybe lap 43, and then we get a puncture. It might even be lap 42 when we actually do, but if we can get it to lap 43, that gives us around about 9 laps to take it to the end, which could be doable. And the left rear has now gone. All of a sudden it just went to 100% as we crossed the line, and I actually realised I don't think it's fully punctured as of yet, because we can still go in a straight line somewhat, but it'll go to a second phase where it'll just completely go. And there we go, it's fully gone at this point. You can see as well, the front right is not really touching the ground as well. I'm trying to brake as well. The car is everywhere, but that left rear has completely gone at this point. And we've spun the car. Can we get it spin back round? There we go. Let's get it going. And you can just see, you can't even put the power down. The front right's not touching the ground. If you look at it from the external camera, we'll go a bit further out. Oh, that's as far as you can go. Just look at that front right. It's up in the air. It's not really touching the ground at all, as you can see from that angle. It's just bouncing up and down. So this is about as fast as we can go in a straight line. The AI will be lapping us around about every lap and a half. So if we can keep it on the road, I just keep spinning at this point. It's so hard to keep control of this. I think Norris is coming through Cop's corner now, as you can see behind us, which he is going to unlap himself for the first time. There he goes, he's 4 laps down. Got to basically drive at snail's pace through here, trying to not lose the rear of the car, but it's so challenging as these guys, as my teammate is trying to overtake us at this point. As we now start lap 43, just about. But as we come through the first few corners, we've got Lando Norris for the second time, trying to unlap himself. Seems to be a bit tentative of trying overtaking us, but see, he is now 3 laps down at this point, 8 laps to go. Can we still do it? Who knows? Here comes Lando Norris now to overtake us once again. He is now 2 laps down. Right, we'll try go as fast as we can down the straight. We'll keep the gears high to stop the wheels spinning. Seems like we can go quite fast, but as we come into the braking zone, I just have no control. I'm trying to not make it spin. There we go. Here comes Norris for the final time to unlap himself. He's got another lap to overtake us. Can he do it? We've got about 3 laps to try. Hang on. And also hang on to this car at this point. Lando's coming through the final sector, so he's getting real close. But as we come to the beginning of lap 51, it looks like Lando Norris is going to overtake us, as you can see there, for the lead of the race. Unfortunately, I don't think we can win this or get a podium. Russell is coming up close behind us as well. I think our aim has got to shift to at least try getting the points. Here comes George Russell now as well. We've now dropped down to P3. We've got about a lap and a half. I don't know where 10th position is or who's in it. Now Piastri, we're down to 4th position at this point. And now Hamilton, we're just losing places left, right and centre. We now come to the beginning of lap 52. The final lap of this long race. Albon is only just behind us in P10. We've got Sainz as well close behind him. And we've now got Sainz, which will drop us out of the points. Our focus has now got to shift to at least not finish last. I think the Saubers, as you can see on the minimap, are the guys in last position. I think this is the best you can do, not stopping on the wet tyres. There's not much more we can do apart from making the full race completely wet. But there's no real challenge in doing that, as Lando Norris does win the race. But as Lawson approaches us for P14, it looks like Hülkenberg behind has been lapped, so it means his race has finished because Lando Norris has already finished and won the race. So it looks like in the end we are going to cross the line in P14. And there we go, we just about finished the race in the end.